This is the Summit Knife Company El Capitan. El Capitan is at 7,573 feet. It is a famed climbing spot, and that's no surprise that it's called that, because Summit Knife Company, you can see a mountain in a mountain-shaped S here. Summit Knife Company, started by climbers. This is Tomaso Rumicci design, fox made in Italy in D2 steel and titanium frame over here. And this knife is a giant, I gotta say. And you know me, I like big knives, but this knife feels just huge. And I think it's this dimension, this broadness here. It is like 2 inches wide. It's 2 inches wide. It's a big boy. I have to middle finger flick it. I am not good at. No, I guess I can do that with a little wrist. You'll have to forgive me if you hear my daughters and my mother-in-law in the background. They are watching TV, and they cannot do that without commenting about what's happening at every moment. So imagine watching a 3-hour Marvel movie under those circumstances. D2 steel, very broad blade again. So this is like almost 2 inches broad, fully flat ground. That means it is so thin and shearing behind that edge. This thing is an amazing cutter, an amazing slicer. Look at that. I'm not sure if you can see that. There we go. Just grabbed focus. Yeah, very slender, very broad. Just an impressive blade here. This is, what is this, 4 inches about? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. It's 3.8 inches or so. So almost there. And when I close it, it makes me feel like a wee little boy. It's so broad. That 2 inches is just, I mean, I can do it, but it does make me feel slightly less sufficient than when I picked it up. Really cool pocket clip. I like the look of it. I also like the spring tension of it. It's very, I like bent clips like this, and it's somewhat stylish. I also like the connecting point. So you have a filler tab on the other side. Your back spacer here. What is this? I think it's aluminum. Can't quite tell, but it's got this nice gear pattern, which nestles nicely in the palm here. That's where you want it. That's what it's there for. So it sticks nicely there, but it's not too aggressive. You can put your lanyard there if you like. I like the shape of the pommel in general. I see that. I like that because it feels good on the thumb, but this is just not that knife. You're not going to be using this knife like this. But in any case, I do like the shape of it. And it continues around the pommel to this really comfortable bottom side that just fits perfectly in the hand. It swells just enough to give the bigger fingers a little bit more purchase and the smaller fingers a little less. And that choil up here is very comfortable, very broadly chamfered. I feel like, to be classy, I should say chamfered, but really that broad chamfering there gives it the feel of contouring, because it's such a broad thing here. And in cross section, that takes up about 1/5 of the width, and over here about 1/4 of it. So gives it a nice feel there. That does not continue onto this side. It's a little more abrupt, but still there, and that's fine. You got a lock bar insert, and you can very, very clearly see that it has an over travel safety thing integrated in there, so you can't overextend that lock bar. Made in Italy, but does not have the crowned spine. For an outdoor knife, I think that's a good choice. Not that this is in any way, I don't think you could strike a ferro rod on that. It's still got, it's still knocked off the edges there, but not rounded. Not your typical Italian rounded, crowned off spine there. And like I said, I could see that this sort of shape squared off a bit would be more beneficial for woodland tasks. Why, Bob? I don't know, because I don't do them. But I would imagine scraping bark. You're going to scrape bark and light it on fire. I don't know. For whatever reason, it makes sense to me that it's not a crown spine. Let's just take a moment to look. I got to say, that Fox logo is just cool. It's a really cool logo, and I never stop to admire it, but looks cool and is a selling point. Tomaso Rumicci has also designed a lot of other cool knives. He did the half dome for them, that small, very unique knife with a handle that looked more like it belonged on a large Bowie than on a small EDC, and I really liked it. Don't think I ever had one come through here. I don't think anyone ever loaned that to me. Really great jimping here. It's big. I like the larger scoops on the jimping. It runs far enough down the spine that you can really, it's a big knife. You can really reach out and still get use out of them. They're sharp enough, but not so sharp that they're gonna hassle you or anything, or be uncomfortable after use. That hole is great for the middle finger flick. I'm not finding it so awesome for the thumb. I think for thumbs, I like a wider opening towards the tang. But it still works, and it looks good. This is such a beautiful knife, and kind of was way off my radar. So thank you, Hero Sticks. This was loaned to me by Hero Sticks. I appreciate it. He sent a big box of great knives, and this was one of them. I'm going to compare this with some other knives. One that comes to mind immediately is also Fox made. This is designed by Jason Knight, custom knife maker and Forged in Fire alternate host, or alternate judge. Very cool. Also made by Fox. Just an exquisite knife. I mean, this thing is just really, really well made and feels great in the hand, and is also broad and thin, like the El Capitan here, broad and thin. Let's see, another one that comes to mind, Spyderco Military, another big knife. So as you can see, it's kind of similar in the length side, but this curved down, and this curves down, and this is more straight. So that handle ends up being longer, but kind of in the same neighborhood for blade sizes. Okay, so for that blade shape, I thought immediately of the Manix 2 XL. I do not have one, so I don't have that to show off with it. What about this, though? The Kaiser Roach. This Roach handle really does force you into a grip that this one does not. And here it is with the off-grid knives. Also broad in dimensions. This is the Black Stallion. Such a cool knife. But also one that makes my hands feel a little small because it's so broad. Just what I need, a knife to make me insecure. All right, so here it is with another Italian-made knife, and large, but this is obviously much larger, the Big Dragotac, designed by Bastinelli Knives and made by Lion Steel. And here it is with the formidable 4MAX Scout. Wow, this is much larger. I didn't think it would be, but yep. Quite a bit larger, but the broadness of this in general gives it a bigger feel. Got my little Jimmy Slash lanyard that I put on there. That 4MAX was a gift from the man himself. And here it is with another great outdoor hard use knife, the Demko Knives AD20. And right now under this light, this looks like the perfect handle color. In real life, it's a little more red than maroon, but under the camera right now, it's looking cool. All right, well, thank you again, Hero Sticks, for loaning me this super awesome Summit Knives knife, this El Capitan. Very cool, very sure in hand. It feels like you can do anything with this. But since it's not my knife, I have done very little with it. So there you go. All right, thanks a lot for watching, and have a good one.